Hello everyone and welcome back to the latest edition of the live dugout here with Sports Today. You'd think, day after a series, not a lot happening, but world of cricket never really stops and there's always something or the other going on. Even if you go from whether it be international or domestic, the Ranji Trophy season has kicked off today. Plenty of rather interesting, good performances you can say coming in from certain players. You've had Devdutt Padikkal for Karnataka got an 80. Rinku Singh, UP. I think he was dropped early on and has now gone on to make the most of that. Currently not out at 70 something.
71, yeah.
71. Plenty going on there in that regard. But of course, the one thing which everyone...
But there's also the story of a 12-year-old making his debut in Ranji Trophy.
For Bihar.
He's 12.
Well, his Aadhaar card did say that his date of birth is 2011.
Will you share all the details with folks on Sports Today a little later?
Yes, for sure.
So, there's an exclusive coming your way. This interesting story of a 12-year-old making his debut in Ranji Trophy. So all the details, whether he's 12 or 14 or 16,
we've got three ages.
Whatever his Aadhaar card says or whatever the other birth certificate and all of that, we've done all the investigation with proof. So very shortly after the dugout is done, there's going to be a video that's going to be up on, what's his name? Suryavanshi.
Yeah.
Right? So there's going to be a detailed story on a 12-year-old playing in the Ranji Trophy. Apart from the detailed story, which you'll have to wait for, should be up on Sports Today in an hour or so. Apart from that, I'm just trying to, figure out if he is indeed 12. You'll know the truth very shortly. If it is indeed 12, what was I doing at 12 years? Probably I would have been able to spell Ranji. I was just going to say that. Would I be able to spell Ranji Trophy? I think I would have. Yes, by 12 I would have. But yeah, to face up to some genuinely quick bowling or even for that matter some quality spin bowling at 12. I remember at 12 I was playing cricket. But your local cricket, right? And the bowlers you get will obviously be around your age and that sort. Or maybe some could be 14 or some 15, 16. But at 12 to face Ranji Trophy level bowlers, I remember at 12, I don't know, and I'd love to know from you. At 12, I played a match, which was, I was in Calcutta at the time. There was you would know, that there's something called para. That paras. So they have like areas, locality. So I was playing a junior game for the para side. And I remember facing a left arm bowler who had played for the junior Bengal team. So he was very hyped up, right? So I was around 12. So when we were playing him, he had played under 16 or something, left arm fast bowler. I still won't forget. Left arm fast bowler. I was young, 12-year-old. But in those days, I used to wear full arm guard, everything. So I remember facing and his name had come in the newspaper, that left arm, right? He must have picked up some wickets. So for us, when we were playing that match, and I was batting number 3, and my whole thing was, how will I face somebody, whose name has come in the paper? And he had not played Ranji Trophy, obviously junior side. And I remember then my chance came, he came on to bowl, and somebody told me, I was an elder, like he was also 18-year-old, and he was a kind of a coach, kind of a thing. He said, don't worry. So, at that age, you are worried about pace. How will I play? So that coach told me, no, don't worry. It's not the pace that will trouble you. He gets the ball to swing as well. So that will be troublesome. So I kept thinking and telling. When I went on to face him, I think I got out to him only. But I remember when I went back, I said, what do you say? You cannot, pace is nothing. He was quick. Like for a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old boy it's quick. It was quick. Yeah. So I'm just saying at 12, my memories of 12-year-old, struggling to face a 16-year-old who's playing stateside. Imagine him playing the main senior team state bowlers. He has to be, even the great Sachin Tendulkar, the prodigy that he was, only came in at 14.
Yeah. Exactly.
But he was genuinely 14. And he was an exception, like he was absolutely a prodigy.
Yeah.
So, what do you make 12 years old? What were you doing?
At 12 years old?
Scratching your bum somewhere in the house. No. What do 12-year-old do?
What do 12-year-olds do?
No, I'll tell you. By the time I was 12, I knew I was pretty sure that I wanted to play cricket professionally. By 11, 12, because at 20,
if I put you in a Ranji Trophy game,
no,
that's how I want to know. How would
I would not have I don't know. And by the way, he has also played under 19 India the last year. So that means at 11 he was part of the India under 19 squad.
Jesus.
Wow. Must be a prodigy then.
Definitely under 19 B side. He was.
It's like how sometimes get those stories, na, like one 12-year-old kid who's cracked the 12th board exam. You know, you come with these stories. Those are prodigies, right? So it has to be like that. But that mentally, I think some guys can be geniuses. But physically, for a 12-year-old to be facing up to that skill, which will be on display in Ranji Trophy. Anyway. Fourth Indian.
To play Ranji in 12 years. At 12 years.
What?
No,
No way.
No, not
No, I think
possible.
Sachin's was the record. No, 14.
No, Sachin was also 13 when he played 13 years in some the
He's
days.
14, I think.
No, he was 13 years in some days.
Before him, Alamuddin, SK Bose and Mohammad Rizwan.
Oh, okay.
You're seeing in the world or in India?
In first class in India.
12-year-olds.
Not possible.
I find it hard to believe. Anyway, you know what happens in north of India, with age fudging and all of that, especially. I've heard plenty of stories. You know, I remember the now chairman of selectors. No, that may be whatever a
Okay.
technicality. But my point is that all of those who were doing 12 wouldn't have been 12. Nah? The fact of the matter is that. So, and especially it happens in the north. You know, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, this belt. It's pretty common. Anyway, that's not the story. The real story of that 12-year-old, we've done some jasusi. You'll get to know on Sports Today very shortly. Okay, today we're going to be talking about the team which is expected to be announced today. We thought it would have been yesterday, but didn't come about. It will be announced today. And so that's what we're going to be debating. But whether Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, do they make it? What are the inside juice, gossip? All of that we'll try and share. But since I'm talking about Rohit Sharma, what did you make of the fiery statements by Rohit Sharma after the test match got done?
I mean, see, he definitely felt like he had an axe to grind. And in the broader context, the quotes weren't entirely wrong. What he said was, look, I don't mind playing on pitches like this, but then don't complain about Indian pitches. To which I say, fair, okay. But then look at the larger context. You have every test match, every major test match, you're looking forward to India, South Africa, you're looking forward to India, Australia, and you win 2.5 days, and not due to a lack of skill, but because you're serving up such lotteries that no one is able to cope. So I don't know. I get his point. It's point well taken. But again, and maybe I'm an idealist here, but I'd prefer seeing sporting good pitches that are true to the original nature of how those pitches were. This is definitely like you take a South Africa stereotype pitch, turn it up to 11, bouncy.
But what do you make? I mean, that apart, whatever the opinion on the pitch, and we've discussed a lot of it in the last 2 days because that was the biggest topic of discussion during the test match. But just overall, I mean, the statement that is really coming, that's quite unlike Rohit Sharma, right? He has this calm, relaxing demeanor, doesn't get phased very often. In press conferences also is rather casual. For him to use word like everyone should keep their mouth shut, right? That next time, this is, what does this tell you?
Yeah, exactly. I think he was not wrong anywhere. All his statements, I do agree with that. But I think he has somewhat taken this a little too personally, and he has come out and said it too overboard. I know Makram also came and criticized the pitch. It happens when you get such a pitch, both the teams come out and say. This I think he has taken so personally that when people come to India, we give them rank turners, they should not say anything. Then somewhat he's kind of defending the fact that if you are doing something wrong, then when we are doing something wrong, then you cannot call us wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. If they are wrong, then you are also wrong at times. And you have all the right to say that they are wrong. Then when you are also called wrong, then that should not be a
No, for
problem.
example, Rohit said, and that is the bit that I don't agree with, he was in particular spoke about the World Cup final pitch. Because he went on to add and said that I can't believe that the World Cup final pitch got a poor rating. But I can believe that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%.
That was a poor pitch. Why? Because his explanation to that was that there's a man who went on to get 100. How can you say that wasn't a poor pitch? Well, there's a man who got 100 in this Cape Town pitch as well. That does not take away from the fact that it was a poor pitch. Someone getting 100 does not. And by the way, in the World Cup final, I do not agree with Rohit. I think it was, we said it before, saying it now, it was a poor pitch. Why a head got 100 is primarily because, as we've discussed a lot, the pitch did get better batting second. It was a big difference. The nature of the pitch changed completely. And if Rohit thinks that the nature of the pitch didn't change, and so that is why it should not be called poor, well then that's a very poor reflection of how the Indian batters batted. So if you're saying that the pitch was not poor, that means it was the same as what it was during this Australia inning, it was the same as during the India inning, well then what the way Indian batters batted, it's unpardonable. If it was a flat pitch like that, which became easy for batting when Head was batting, I think the first half hour was tough because under lights the ball was doing a lot. After that the pitch eased out. If you are saying that the pitch was exactly the same as what Head got throughout the match, well then serious questions need to be asked of how KL Rahul and then Virat Kohli batted. Because the only benefit of the doubt we did give the Indian batters was that it was a dry pitch which did not allow stroke making, which is why you had a phase of 40 odd overs with no boundaries.
Correct.
But if you're saying no, the pitch was good, well then that's shocking that an Indian batting lineup would bat like that in a World Cup final. So if you take that statement, then you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Both do not reflect very well the Indian team. I would still like to believe that the World Cup final pitch was poor. It wasn't how a team should be given, especially when they're batting first. It became a lottery. No one really got to know how it would play in the second innings. And if you negotiated the first half hour, 1 hour, pitch was going to get easy, and Australia knew that.
I mean, yeah, Pat Cummins had said, in fact, we had discussed, I remember, we said that with Cummins choosing to bat second, it's like either it's going to be seen as an absolute masterstroke of a decision, or you're going to be calling him an idiot at the end of the World Cup final. There was no in between. But the way he read it, he called it absolutely spot on. He said, no, under lights and with the dew kicking in, it's going to get easier. That's exactly what happened.
And I also think that, again, the justification Rohit is giving here, he's saying that I am okay with playing, we are okay with playing on pitches like this. Again, what I would want to say to this is that even India should not be okay on playing pitches like this, and the justification he's giving is that when teams come to India, even they should not have a problem. According to me, even we should have a problem playing on such wickets. So should England or whichever team is coming. When you are giving them a rank 10, so should they have a. So I am not. It's not wrong. His statements aren't wrong, but again, the intention behind the statements is very wrong.
No. I mean, if you split the statement, his statement is not wrong on the fact that. For people complaining, so I take his statement, which is right, that if you are going to give us pitches like this, okay, which is if South Africa gave you a pitch like this, or if England gave you a pitch like that, okay, and then you went to India and got a pitch which was extreme. So by this I would mean a pitch that was overwhelmingly in favor of fast bowlers. If you've given a pitch like that, then don't complain when you get a pitch like that which is overwhelmingly in favor of spinners in India. To that I will agree. But my point is, Australia did not give you those kind of pitches. Right? They gave you fair pitches. Pitches that allowed each skill to come to the fore, whether it was fast bowling, whether it was good batting, whether it was spin. You've taught that twice. Okay, and you won. Cut to England. England did not give you those kind of pitches. They give you typical English pitches and conditions, overhead conditions, allow for the ball to move. You also benefit, they also benefit. If you're a good batter, you'll get runs. So I think to that point, both England and Australia did not give you those pitches. So if you take that logic, that whatever you give, you should be, to that logic, then if England and Australia come here and complain, then they'd be right? Because in that sense, they gave you pitches that allowed for an even contest between bat and ball.
Correct.
If you did not allow that, then if South Africa did not, then South Africa have no business. So let's not club everyone together. And South Africa has no business to come and complain. To that point, I will agree. But I also agree with what Shashwat is saying, that why should he be saying that I'm okay with playing on these pitches? This is not a good pitch for a test match. Simple as that. A poor pitch is a poor pitch. So to say, it's like saying, I gave an exam and I got poor in my exam. and I went and told my parents, and if my parents scolded me, I said, you know what, everyone else got a poor too, but that doesn't in any way justify my poor performance. The rest of the class also got poor. My father is going to ask me, right? I don't care what the rest of the class got.
What
You
did
should have done better
Correct.
to have not got a poor. So because it is happening, so I do not believe two wrongs, as you said, do not make a right. So what is wrong should not be used as an excuse to justify anything else that is wrong. And that is what we said. And we're consistent in that. If indoor, I think the only thing, if indoor pitch was rated poor, to which we agreed, because it did not offer an even contest between bat and ball, by that logic, this pitch in Cape Town should also be rated poor. But this does not mean we should keep getting poor pitches. No, please. Test cricket is already suffering. It's dying. You already know, we've discussed ad hoc for a long time, ad nauseum about what is happening to Test cricket, what are the ways to improve it. Well, for starters, get decent pitches. By decent pitches, I also do not mean batting paradises.
Not Ahmedabad 2023.
Yeah, I think the best, if you wanted to look at a good South African pitch, the Centurion pitch is a perfect example that gave you a pitch that was going to help fast bowlers, because that's how pitches in South Africa are, and then you play on that pitch. You apply yourself, you'll get runs like Dean Elgar did. If you do not apply yourself, you get out for 130 as India did. Simple as that. So to that I do not agree with Rohit Sharma, but I agree that if a country dishes out this kind of a pitch, then don't come out and complain. But to that also I'll add, because I spoke about Australia and England, they did not give you such pitches. So if they come and complain for a pitch which does not offer an even contest, then they'd be right. But I remember the Australian team, credit to them, when they came here, they did not complain. The Australian media did. They went on and on about what the pitch is, the swastika made and this and that, and it carried on for every. But I remember Cummins being asked about it. He not for once in the press conference complained.
Steve Smith too, when Cummins had gone back, Smith didn't say a thing.
Exactly. They said, whatever we got to play on it. It's for both teams, we'll play on it. And that's why they did make a comeback into that series.
To the point where you spooked the Indians into giving you an absolute, batting paradise of a track, because India was scared that if it's 2-2, then it's very much a lottery as to who makes the final.
Yep, WTC final wouldn't have been there. I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference. You would have played the final, you didn't win if you did not play.
Then no, see, Australia had qualified. It was only the last spot which was up for grabs. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So wouldn't have made a difference.
wouldn't have made much of a difference, admittedly.
Just that it would have saved you a trip to the Oval. No, but yeah, let's get done with poor. In life, let's not accept anything that's termed poor. Na? Why aim for anything which is mediocre in anything?
And this is something that's in control. It's not like you're playing on some alien piece of land and can't help it, everyone gets the same conditions. You're controlling the conditions. You have curators, you have pitch scientists and everything in between to know exactly what kind of pitch you're making. So if you're getting a rank turner in indoor, where you traditionally have always had flat tracks, then you know how to make a pitch. So why not just make sporting pitches?
No, but it's not that India did not have turners. I'm saying the turners which allow for an even contest, where spin does come into play.
But they'll come into play in day 3 types, where it really starts turning.
So no harm in having turner, and ditto for South Africa. No harm if
having
South Africa tried to make a pitch that was going to aid the fast. No harm. But you need to draw a line somewhere, like to what extreme you're going to go.
Correct.
And I think that wasn't.
That wasn't there, because again, same thing happened with India during the Border Gavaskar. Same thing happened in the second test. If Dean Elgar, who's from Cape Town, is saying, I've never seen a pitch like this, where as the session goes on, the pitch gets faster, then there's something wrong.
And that's why I'm kind of questioning Rohit Sharma's intent here, because he's trying to cover up the pitches India gives in test matches.
Two wrongs, no?
Yeah, exactly. By saying that I am okay. If these two would have been different statements, it would have been a different matter altogether. But here he's trying to justify that even we give such pitches, I am okay with playing on these pitches.
No one should be okay playing on pitches like this.
Doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
Now, pitches is done. What has Rohit Sharma told the selectors?
I'm available.
So team is going to be announced today?
One would hope. Apparently the meeting was meant to be happening today. So
no, yesterday I got a inkling that the meeting was to happen yesterday too, because earlier I'd heard that Ajit Agarkar had reached 2 days in advance, but that's not the case. Apparently he reached yesterday is what I learned. And so clearly there was enough time. The match got over pretty early, so there was the entire day. And then I kind of heard that the meeting may have happened yesterday, but wasn't to be. So if it is today, we're going to be awaiting what really happens. But you have to be announcing the squad for the T20Is that start on the 17th. 11th, sorry. 11th, 17th is the last one. Yeah. Start on the 11th till the 17th. So there's not too much time left. Also, the players will be ready to leave. They need to know how to plan, right? Because a lot of them might want to plan holidays, as they often do. So they're also going to be, eager. Let us know if you are in this scheme of things or not. Otherwise, I'll get a ticket to London.
Two players we
or
know
Maldives.
potentially won't be in the scheme of things for at least this series.
Yeah.
I know, but for the ones who are going to be, they have to book their tickets for London or Maldives or wherever else that they head for a holiday. So
Much earned break. Well earned. I'm
but
being
they
sarcastic.
just had a-
I'm being sarcastic. Of course, it's not well earned.
they just had a break.
I mean, they had a nice long break during the entire white ball leg. Then
yeah.
played 2 tests which lasted 5 days.
No, but Rohit and Virat have come back to Bombay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they need to know now what to do.
No, if they would have had to go anywhere, if they were not in the team, they would have left from South Africa. only.
No.
Yeah.
No.
For
You have
sure.
to come. There's a family to.
You have to take
Family would have
Does
reached South Africa, they would
does
have
not
gone to
happen.
London
The
from there.
Schools are happening. It doesn't work like that. Shashwat, when you get married and have kids, you will understand. It's like in a bachelor, you can decide whatever you want to do.
Chalo, aaj, go aaj.
It doesn't work like that. I'm speaking from experience. All these things have to be planned. So of course, this will be planned, and they're going to be traveling from Mumbai only. It doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, Mumbai is a nice central spot to travel to wherever you want to travel from. Really.
Yeah, so now the question is going to be whether the two of them are in the team or not. The other players that are going to be discussed. Of course, as Shane points out, two are definitely resting. That are the fast bowlers in Siraj and Bumrah. That's no surprise. So I think
None whatsoever. Because again, you have 5 tests coming up against England. So
You
you'd
need
want to
them
keep
there.
them fresh. Would you? You're going to be playing 3 spinners, let's be honest.
But still, you'll need them in the squad at least.
Squad,
Yeah.
yes. That I agree with.
They would not be bowling that much, but yeah.
why not? You could have 2 fast bowlers.
And then you also have Shami who's coming back for this test series potentially. So
But there's a good chance, as India has done, still go with Siraj and Bumrah.
No. Now I don't think they would be dropping Shami.
But it's a very close call.
it
I
actually
think-
is a very close
I
call
think they would
between him and
rotate
Siraj.
between these three.
Yeah, so if the first test match Siraj and Bumrah are playing, I don't think it's shocking at all.
No, not really.
Yeah.
And here you won't even need a pace bowling all rounder. So
Yeah.
you're
You'll
going
go
to
with
be.
Akshar
You'll go with Akshar and Jadeja
and Ashwin.
and Ashwin. Potentially, Kuldeep will be your squad option.
So that could happen. Anyway, coming back to the big question.
Deja vu.
So, right, there is, it's nothing new, but we had said earlier also. I think somebody asked us when we were doing the test match, anything, and we had said, a question was asked from our, it said that, are they making a comeback or not? I said, of course they are. Once they've expressed their desire to be part of the T20 team, then most likely they are going to make a comeback. Having said that, I would see, I would like to know what the thought process of the team management is going to be going forward. Now, Ajit Agarkar as chairman of selector, he was brought in precisely for this reason, because you needed a man of stature, you needed a man who could take the tough calls, who could call a spade, and which is why Ajit Agarkar was brought in. Now, I do not know again, it has to be the vision. Right now, usually it's the vision of the coach, captain, chairman of selector. But right now, because you are in a crossroads in T20 cricket and you're deciding what is the right way forward, and you're not even certain, you could argue both way that Rohit, there could be a valid argument saying Rohit should be captain. There could be a valid argument saying no, go with a new captain, right? So if you're in a situation like that where captaincy is not 100% done and your team is not 100% done and that you faced disappointments in the previous editions of T20 World Cup or T20 tournaments, I might add, including the Asia Cup where you didn't even make the final. So you need to take a call. So it could be any call, as I said. Whether you go with the same tried and tested or you go new way. But since a call has to be taken, then this has to be the vision of the chairman of selector and the coach now. I think it is along with the rest of the selection committee, it has to be the vision of the selection committee led by the chairman of selectors and the coach. So now it's going to be interesting what their vision is. Do they see the future of Indian T20 team with a Rohit and a Virat, or do they think it has to go the Hardik Pandya way, which Indian cricket has done, by the way? You may like it or not like it, it's been over a year since both Rohit and Virat have played T20 cricket. I know the argument made was that because it was the ODI World Cup year, so they're going to be playing, and T20 they'll start focusing when it's the need be. So whether they are selected now or not is going to be interesting. So it should ideally be the vision of the selection committee and the coach. And what do you think should be their vision?
I have a theory to this, and I could be completely wrong for sure.
Don't worry, you're not always right with what we.
But like, see, I have like, especially Ajit Agarkar traveling from here. See, I feel if the decision of Rohit captaining the side would have been taken, it would have been taken the day Rahul Dravid was recalled as a coach, the day we had the meeting in Taj. I'm pretty sure that day you did not only have the discussion about how to move forward in tests and ODIs, but of course T20 also, because this is the World Cup year for T20.
And to add to your point, he's only got a contract now till the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. So
The
T20 cricket was taken in place.
Is that confirmed? No. Because
It's been reported.
Because I remember Rahul himself said that no, we've not finalized the modalities of the contract.
Aha.
That's what I remember.
He said, I've not signed anything, but he was there in the meeting.
Correct,
So,
but we don't know till when the contract is because we don't know.
So,
Anyway.
Yeah. So, see, I feel that if Ajit Agarkar has specially travelled to South Africa, do you think that something else is going on there? Because I also feel that Rohit Sharma you would definitely be seeing Rohit Sharma in the Afghanistan series. There is no two ways about that. We have also missed KL Rahul in this, and we have not mentioned that you could even see KL Rahul coming back. But more than that, what I am feeling is that I think there's something really big is on the cards. Because I remember before this, something like this, people were traveling was during the 2021 World Cup when you lost, Ravi Shastri's tenure ended, and you wanted to get Rahul Dravid on board. At that time, there was so much chaos. Now suddenly, do you think that there is a possibility that you could see just one person in the team? Because if Rohit and Virat had to come, this would have been decided that day only. If only one had to come, maybe you need someone to go and convey this message to someone like a Virat Kohli, because Rohit Sharma would not want to do that. Rahul Dravid would definitely would not want to do that.
Why not? Rahul Dravid has been one guy, and I know this for a fact. He has been, since he was a captain, and I covered it very closely. So let me put one thing very clear, and I know this about Rahul Dravid, that he is never shy of saying things, never, to anybody. Even when he was captain, the selectors would not say anything. He would pick up the phone and call the player saying, sorry, we have not selected you. He's continued that, by the way, even as a coach. Let me just remind you, he was the one who picked up the phone, told Ridhiman Saha. Right? So I know what you're hinting at, whether he has to tell something harsh to either a Rohit, Virat, or whatever. I'm not getting into specifics. But if he had to, he is never going to shy away from that.
Maybe he did, and the way the reaction he got, maybe he wasn't able to convey that fully. That's why someone like an Ajit Agarkar.
Please don't think that. So what makes you think that Ajit Agarkar will have more authority than a Rahul Dravid? Ajit Agarkar played under a Rahul Dravid. So I do not see. So if the difference of the two personality was like this, that one of them, let me put it in today's context so people will understand. Assuming in the future there is Surya Kumar Yadav is the coach of the Indian team, and he wants to say something, and his thing is not taken very seriously. Then if the chairman of selectors is Virat Kohli, then it makes a difference because
Stature.
Yeah, but this is the exact opposite. So it's like Virat Kohli is the future coach of the Indian team. He has to communicate something to somebody, but you are thinking the reaction is not great. So Surya Kumar Yadav is coming to tell.
What I'm trying to understand here more is that...
So I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
So firstly, that cannot be the case.
Yeah.
So that cannot be the case. And I'm telling you, even if the stature wasn't the issue, just as personalities, and it just so happens coincidentally that these two gentlemen have spent a considerable amount of time with, both Ajit Agarkar and Rahul Dravid. There's never going to be a situation where a Rahul Dravid would need a leg up from an Ajit Agarkar. So if he had to say it, he would have said it. But the reason why this may have been happening is because we are forgetting that's not that you always need the chairman of selector to convey something. You need the chairman of selector to have his own opinion as well. We're forgetting that. It could also be, we're forgetting, it could also be that Rahul Dravid has one opinion, but the chairman of selector has a different opinion.
And also I think
that's quite possible.
The only reason I'm connecting these dots is that I feel that if it was a certainty that someone like a Rohit and Virat are going to come back in the T20 setup, then I think Ajit Agarkar, especially traveling to South Africa, going there, would not have happened this way, because then Virat and Rohit would have been conveyed that,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't two members of the selection committee already
Yeah,
in
exactly,
South Africa?
exactly.
So maybe that's the reason why then you'd need the chairman there.
No, I mean, chairman could have still, I agree with him, could have still joined. The reason he's gone is, maybe they needed to have a discussion, I'm not denying that. But all I'm saying is that if you are saying that Rahul Dravid you had said that, had made up his mind and he had spoken to the player, but the reaction wasn't, then you need Ajit to do it? No, that's not possible. You're forgetting that when something has to be done or something has to be spoken of, you're forgetting that the chairman of selector may be even coming to speak to the coach. Why don't you understand that? That maybe the coach thinks of things a certain way, but the chairman of selector has his own opinion. He's his own man who may have his own opinion.
Yeah.
So it's not always they're on the same page. Because you said that they're on the same page, he's saying something and he's coming to help. No. They may not be on the same page. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I agree with you when you say that if he's gone there, there has to be a lot of discussion, but it does not prove anything. What this means is, at the moment, and I'm not speculating, this is factual, what this means is that there will be a debate, for sure. I'm not denying that.
About both of them or just one?
Well, I'm just saying, I'll just get to it, I'll just, whatever. But the thing is, that still does not mean that both options are not possible. Assuming, hypothetically, again, I'm not denying, let's say, you're the chairman of selector and I'm the coach. Okay, and since we now going to be taking a call, because we're talking about the captain as well as another senior player. Now we've had to add, and I have the opinion, let's continue with them. You have the opinion, so this has to start. But that does not mean that you've come. It only means there will be a debate. It does not mean that we can now conclude that some big decision is coming. That means they're not playing. Because I could prevail over you. Right? Or it also does not mean that the big decision doesn't come. Because you made up your mind that no, I am going to do this. Come what may. So either things are possible. But you're right in that assessment. I will go back. That there is going to be a serious talk. That much I'm 100% sure of. That there is going to be a serious talk about the future of two of our senior players.
I feel if there would have been a serious talk, then I think the only reason for a serious talk at this point could be that they want either one of them. Because
could be that Ajit says I don't want either of them. How do you?
If that would have happened, then that would have been conveyed the day Rohit Sharma was part of that meeting.
You're forgetting, sir, that day to now also a lot of things have changed. There was a series in the middle.
Yeah, T20.
So a lot of things change. Also
the Hardik news, you got to know that it was getting progressively
much later.
longer.
That can swing it in one way. You also saw Surya Kumar Yadav step up as captain. None of that was known. So I'm saying again, like you work in any profession, anything you do planning, right? Forward planning. You're an IT engineer or whatever. Forward planning is done, let's say 2 months in advance for an event. But a month later, you sit again to do for that event. It changes. Nothing is written in.
Virat went to.
I
went to
don't
meet
think
his
that you
family
can.
also.
I mean, if you were to ask me, I don't. Yeah, but again, that's conjecture, right? That's speculation. Whatever. If it is that he wasn't happy, or he wouldn't have come back to play the test match. It doesn't make sense.
He could have
if
done
you're
a Nishan
unhappy, you
Kishan.
go for 2 days. What do you do? Put your feet up and come back.
He could have done a
Nah,
Nishan
fine.
Kishan, no?
It
If he
does
was
not-
unhappy.
It doesn't happen. What I feel is that we'll know when the team comes, and I know that since both of them have expressed their desire to play, most likely they are both going to be in the team, is what I suspect. Having said that, the only two options that I see are either both are there in the team or both aren't in the team. I do not foresee that scenario that you said, which seems to you the most likely scenario. I do not see that scenario. And I will also add to that, if it was decided that Rohit Sharma was going to be captain, and it is that Rohit Sharma, and you think that nothing has changed and that remains till now, if that is decided, I find it hard to believe that if Rohit is, then this vision we were talking earlier of just a coach and a selector changes. Then it becomes a this thing, right? Then the captain, if you've decided, then, and of course the captain will have his say, and a captain has a
Huge say.
huge say. And I, for one, can't believe, for whatever the TNs might say, if Rohit Sharma is asked whether he needs Virat Kohli in his team or not, I'm certain that he would say yes.
There's no way he's saying no. Put it that way.
Yeah. So whichever way I look at it, maybe we can wager a bet. Either the most likely scenarios both are there. The second likely scenario both aren't there.
It's a package deal in essence. Has to be both or
Not
none.
KL?
No, it's not. I'll tell you why. It's not even a package deal. It's like I'll tell you why. Because it's a clear-cut thought process, right? It's a clear-cut thought process. The thought process change here is that if you have decided, which I personally feel, said it quite often, that you've had failures in T20 formats consistently, you need to change something. You have to do something out of the ordinary. You have to think left field. It happened in 2007. Those were, of course, forced circumstances. But if you reach this, I think, and I've seen the young team, they play fearless cricket, go with it. Go with a fresh team to start, is my thinking. But that's a thought process. The other thought process is no, format doesn't matter. Your best batters have to go, right? And if that is the case, then it's a different thought process. If you go down that thought process, you can't come up with a third thought process saying, no, okay, I'm going with the process of going with my best batters, but then one of them is part of my best batter, the other is not.
No, yeah, that is
Does
not
make
logical.
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
make
just
sense.
doesn't make sense.
For sure, but again, a lot of things happen which don't make sense at times. Again, a very big explanation for getting.
You're saying there's a whatever a
Deep
muhim,
state conspiracy.
No.
that they're going after.
No, I'm not.
No, I think-
No, even I don't think so. But I also think that a very big reason and explanation to get someone like a Rohit back at this point could be that they need a captain, because you don't have Surya, you don't have Hardik.
Who says you don't have Surya?
Surya, you don't have
No,
Surya.
but not fully Afghanistan series, na?
Haan,
It's not a
exactly.
long-term
Yeah,
injury issue.
for the timing, about the World Cup, they'll say we'll see whether it's
Then
time.
actually, by that logic, then
Why?
they shouldn't be having this debate only. You know why? Because Hardik is not like he's out for 6 months.
Exactly.
He's coming back for the IPL. It should be a non-debate. But here we are.
No,
You are
but
having
that's what
it.
I'm trying to say. You could still go that way. I don't think captaincy is that issue that you would need to. I don't think that. You have to have a thought process. Either I go with these players because they are one of the best in the world, right? I go with them. Or you say, no, we need a fresh thinking for T20s. Yes, ODI, they're still goats. Test cricket,
Still there.
I want them to be there. But, T20, I want a fresh approach. So either you go this way or you go the other way.
Yeah, right now it's just muddled.
Yeah,
Because,
if you go the other way, by the way, even a KL Rahul will put his hand up.
yeah.
KL Rahul is coming, na?
That's what I'm saying, na. If you go the other way, then even he would. Then you decide. Then you best of luck for another T20.
No,
World
then
Cup.
you'll have all three. I feel. I don't think
Then
you're
all the
getting-
best.
Then
All
good
the
luck.
best for the T20
I
World
don't
Cup.
think that Rohit Virat are coming and then KL isn't.
No, then
Yeah,
there's
possible.
no all the best.
It's
Then there's no all the best. Then, see, KL doesn't have anywhere close to the kind of, stature, whether it be in terms of fan base, whether it be in terms of numbers, to justify putting his hand up like that. He was counted by proxy along with the other two because he too had batting failures in T20 World Cups that shouldn't have been happening. Because again, when KL Rahul first burst out of the scene, what was it that made him stand out? He was an attacking stroke maker of a player. No longer that. Now he's a very different batter. He wasn't doing that in 2021. He did it against the Minnows, but by that point you were already knocked out. Pakistan had beaten you, New Zealand had beaten you. It didn't matter what he did against Namibia. 2022 as well. Again, conservative approach, one note. So he was counted among them for that reason. Seniority-wise, stature-wise, doesn't come close. Purely on merit, you can't be taking him. Purely on merit. Then again, purely on merit, I don't think any of the three should be making it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a whole different
No place
matter.
for Yashasvi, no place for.
Well, that's I'm saying Yashasvi, such a breath of fresh air in T20 cricket. Loved him in whatever matches he played. Could not care less about his own average.
Strike
Just
rate,
played
nothing,
one
just
way,
boom, boom.
has all the strokes. Rinku Singh liked him as well, the way he was playing. So I would want these youngsters, to get a chance. For that matter, whatever criticism comes Shubman Gill's way, I think T20 cricket still is going to
Top
be
notch.
up there. Yeah. So.
But really harsh on someone like Yashasvi, because if I'm a Yashasvi today, what if I'm not in that team? The first thing that I'm going to think is that no point of playing so fearlessly.
Ishan Kishan as well.
Ishan Kishan as well, for that matter.
To a lesser extent, and this will be an unpopular opinion, but even a Shreyas Iyer, who was being carted in and out, it carted in and out of the team, but when he bats at number 3 in T20s, he's averaging 40 odd with a strike rate of 140.
100% agree that Iyer has to make your T20 team based on performance. Iyer, we've spoken enough, and unless someone thinks that we are biased towards him or whatever, Iyer, the test batters, we criticized him just yesterday.
Yeah.
But Iyer, the T20 batter, is a different kettle of fish.
Exactly, and something we don't talk about him often is that the way he plays spin, I think in the whole team right now, he's the one who plays spin the best right now.
Correct.
And the conditions in West Indies we have seen going.
You do tend to sometimes get slow pitches.
Exactly. So I don't think anybody in this side everyone struggles against spin in this whole batting lineup. It's just Shreyas who dominates spin, and you need that someone to in the middle order.
Look at South Africa. Who do they have in the middle order? Klassen, Makram.
Yeah.
Both who can absolutely dominate spin like it's no one's business. You need players like that. I feel bad for them. You played them throughout this whole cycle. In fact, Shreyas wasn't making your T20 team in 2022. Made a comeback because you said no, Virat. Sorry. So there were times when you were batting Shreyas at 3. There were times you were batting Sky at 3. But in that middle order, more often than not, he was giving you the goods.
But you dropped him again in South Africa just to bring in a Tilak. So
Tilak is another one.
There's Tilak again. I mean, he may not have had the string of scores that you wanted, but if you're backing him,
then you may as well back him.
Then all the players are going to think that impact is not going to be counted on later. You need the runs, and runs would be counted on. So everyone will go out
But
and
even
score,
runs
and you
don't
won't
matter.
change
Even
that.
runs don't matter. Look at Rinku Singh. Got you nearly 500 runs.
Rinku Singh, I think, would anyways go.
500 runs nearly in the last IPL. 460, 70 if I'm not mistaken. Striking it at 150 plus. If those aren't numbers that are good enough to get you into the T20 team, then you may as well just hang your bat.
even Jitesh's number, not as a whole.
How about his finisher numbers?
Yes,
are great.
finishing numbers are fantastic.
180 plus.
Yashasvi was the pick of the Indian batters in the IPL. He was demolishing attacks for fun. And you don't have a place for him. Sad. Very sad.
Yep. Let's see.
I mean, we still don't know when the team is coming. That's always a
9:30 is the time.
closely guarded
9:30.
secret.
Well, whenever it comes, all you need to do is press the bell icon. You know we're going to be live on Sports Day. And then that discussion should be more fun than even now. But can we take a few questions, Pawan? Very kind of you. Let's see what our folks are saying. Because, that will always help us get a different perspective. Saurav Mukherjee says there is a difference between habits and exceptions. Rohit should have remembered that before making such statements. We simply can't accept facts. Thumbs up to Saurav.
Absolutely.
In the words of MSD.
Nothing more to add.
Pranit Datta says the bottom line is the tougher the pitch, the better Team India plays, whether it's Gabba, Wanderers or India. But that I agree. I like the gumption and the guts that this Indian team shows, and this has been, and please don't fight Viratians, Rohitians. The fight is under Virat. This one did well under Rohit. The fact is the nature of Indian cricket has changed, okay, the last decade or so, and this Indian team, wherever they are, they fight. Not to say the previous teams did not, please, I don't get me wrong, but I'm saying in alien conditions to come back like this team has been doing, I think incredible. And that's a big change that we're seeing in Indian cricket at the moment. And I think it's a change of attitude. It's the change of where cricket per se is going. That augurs well. So thumbs up on that. Agreed. This win, though, again, one thing I wouldn't agree with Rohit. He mentioned that he put it alongside Gabba. But I think that's an unfair comparison.
No, Gabba was pretty sporting.
Yeah, I mean, this is but like the comeback he was talking about in the series.
Oh,
but I don't think it been compared. That was just brilliant.
That's your greatest ever overseas test series with no debates.
Yep.
Ryan now points out that if India produces spin-friendly pitches, then there's no guarantee that Indian batsmen will score runs that could backfire, should provide sporting wickets. Ryan, very good point, and case in point, Indore, 103 all out.
England, Chennai. You lost a test match. So, good point, Ryan. I think, the Indian batters also now tend to struggle against spin bowling. Ryan joins us from the UK. Yep, I'm sure you'd be keeping a watch on the India-England series. England decided to carry their own chefs with them. How that story is up.
Funny story, by the way. I did a little bit of digging and it's mentioned in the video.
No, so then don't tell it now. Tease it.
Tease it, but
there's an interesting story, backstory.
The backstory is that he is.
Don't tell.
I won't tell them. I'm just saying the guy who's the England chef is also the chef of a very renowned football club in the UK.
Interesting.
And that football club, this is the biggest hint I can give you all, recently was hauled up for serving raw chicken to some directors.
Oh,
exactly.
So check the story out in detail. England cricket team bringing their own chefs. We put a story up on Sports Today. It has a lot of juicy details in there. Yeah.
Praneeth once again says, whenever Indian cricket has gone ahead instead of looking back, they've done well. Whether it's Saurav getting captaincy instead of Sachin or MS getting it instead in 2007 instead of a tried and tested player. Spot on.
Exactly what I'm saying. I'm glad people can see it. See, again, it's not that, sometimes when we say something about, like we've spoken about, go with a young team in T20, people start, trolling us on social media and various other places that you hate this one, you hate Virat. Listen, I am a huge fan of Rohit Sharma as well as of Virat Kohli. Why wouldn't anyone be? If you like cricket, won't you be their fan?
Correct.
Right? I just wrote 1,000 words on Virat Kohli and what a fantastic year he had in the India Today magazine. Please buy the magazine and read it. Okay? So, but you as a journalist have to call a spade, right? Because at the end of the day, the bigger fan that I am, and I think I speak for the entire team, that we are of, is the Indian team.
एक ही आवाज सुने देता है.
Correct. You could be fan of Rohit, a Virat, a Sky, a Bumrah, whoever, yes. But those are pieces of the puzzle. The bigger picture is India. Yeah. If you're a fan of India, you want to do everything to make India win. I give you a football example. Talking about football, I'm a huge Barcelona fan and I was a huge Ronaldinho fan. But there was a time for the club to move beyond Ronaldinho. And when that harsh call was taken, I'm sure many fans were upset. But I knew why that call was taken. And if I want my club to do well and win, you have to take those calls.
Correct.
There was a time, I know that this time it happened, for Messi was let go.
But that was financial risk.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was coming to the end of it, right? It may have been another season where he would have been useful. You needed to go through the churn to start again.
Correct.
So it happens with the biggest stars, yeah. If you like your team first, right, then you will always see merit in the right decision, irrespective of the player involved.
Or how harsh it may seem.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm one of the biggest Sachin Tendulkar fans. But there was a time that I did realize that you needed to move beyond him in ODI cricket.
I think unpopular opinion to many, especially those who watch, but I think 2011 should have been the swan song.
Yeah,
Win
exactly.
the final, be done.
Completely agree. That does not diminish
the legacy.
The legacy, or even how I viewed him, or how big a fan I am of Sachin Tendulkar. Even now, huge fan. But at certain point you decide, because if you, at the end of the day, you watch sport for India to win, right? Nothing gives you more happiness than that. And what happiness you get from a Virat 100 or a Rohit 100 or a Bumrah 5 wicket haul is a byproduct of your being happy about India winning. So if you look at it that way, I don't think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Vishesh Bais also says, I think his being Shashwat's theory is right. Rohit and KL as a wicketkeeper will be in, not Virat. Logic is simple. Just if you go by what playing 11 you can make, and he's given a playing 11 where he said Rohit, Yashasvi, KL Rahul is a wicketkeeper. Then you've got Sky, Hardik, Rinku, and 5 bowlers.
You are saying that KL Rahul makes the T20 team and
As number
Virat
3,
Kohli- and
where
Virat Kohli
where
doesn't.
Virat Kohli has played majority of his T20I cricket and averages 40. Forget about it.
Fine, that's his opinion. I'll take it.
But I'd put KL Rahul in that wicketkeeper slot, and that's what he's fighting for.
But then he'll have to bat at number 5, 6.
Yeah, he will.
Sure.
That's what he said.
Sorry,
right?
Rinku.
No, Rinku will also play, na?
He'll be in the squad.
No. At number 6, he'll play. At number 5, you'll have a what?
KL.
KL.
No.
Hardik Pandya.
No, Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja.
Where will he play? Is it-
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, Rinku.
Okay, anyway. Cloudy, thank you so much for your kind comments. I don't want to say it on air, but it's between you and me. So, thank you and keep watching Sports Today. That's all I can say. ICT fan, what's he saying?
Says that if BCCI and Ajit Agarkar think of India, how is Rohit Sharma in the team after a history of him underperforming in T20 World Cups? Someone who has not been there 7 times? Really? Has it been 7 times that they've lost it? 2009, 12, 14, 16,
Yeah.
21 and 22. 6. He was part of the World Cup winning team. Don't say 7 times. That part's wrong, but otherwise point well taken. He does have an underwhelming T20I career despite being a white ball giant. His T20I numbers can be mixed.
Virat and Rohit strike rates are the same.
Yeah, but
Averages are different.
averages Rohit is 10 behind
Yeah,
Kohli.
but in T20s, don't you?
In T20s, if you're an opener, batting with a strike rate of 130.
3. But don't, people
close.
will.
I remember 137, 138, don't remind me.
Virat's is 130.
Yeah. So Shubham Garg then says, I think Rohit was pointing at the double standards of ICC match referees, specifically Chris Broad. He has been against India a lot in recent
Yeah.
times.
That I completely
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with you, Shubham. And I like the fact that Rohit gave it back to the ICC match. There is still that bias that exists, even though India now is the leader in terms of, not just as a cricketing powerhouse, which they are,
But also revenue.
and other, facets of the sport. But yet you do see that bias, certain match referee, and I like that he gave it off to them.
But you shouldn't be too mad about Chris Broad. I mean, this is the same Chris Broad who gave his own son a demerit point.
He did.
And Stuart Broad said he's not going to be part of the Christmas dinners.
Yeah. Okay. Puneet Handu, if KL Rahul comes back in T20 cricket, then I have no further hope from Indian cricket. Okay. Taking his point. GGK wants to know, why do I think that Rohit will say yes to bring Virat in T20I, whose batting is outdated in T20? Rohit is a team man and hence won't take outdated Virat in T20.
But then even Rohit's batting in T20 is outdated, my friend. 30
No, but
average with
again,
130
the
strike rate.
captaincy. No, again, I don't know. I'm still connecting the dots, and somehow I feel that team is a little. I'm not saying about Rohit Sharma, but I think the team management is a little inclined. I'm not saying that's right, but team management is a little inclined on getting Rohit and KL Rahul.
So just very contrary to GGK, Anuj Prakash Mishra has an opinion. He says, why do you think Virat doesn't have a place in the squad? Only he fits into the squad by merit. To be very honest, by merit, even KL doesn't deserve a place.
Actually, you know what? If you go by raw numbers, then of the trio, the only one who comes close to a recall is Kohli.
Yeah.
It's not just numbers, it's also impact. Match winning knocks. He's had 2 82s match winning knocks in T20 World Cups. You can't say the
16
same.
and 22.
Exactly, you can't say that. And that's 6 years apart, by the way. 6 years apart. So, I mean, oh yeah, I forgot 2010 Ashutosh Bajpai, thank you. Yeah, 2010 was also a T20 World Cup. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes.
But yeah, otherwise the only one who actually deserves a recall or who deserves to be in the scheme of things is Kohli. Rohit, his form in T20Is and for that matter even IPL, always been weirdly underwhelming for a guy who's been a white ball giant.
No, but then if you see if all three of them come in the side,
Yeah, then kiss the World Cup goodbye.
then you should got MS Dhoni, Shikhar Dhawan also.
I mean, Shikhar is still active.
Yeah, he's very active.
Now you're pushing it, Shashwat.
And if you're getting all three of them, then I would want.
Bring the band back together. Chalo, never mind. I bring Rahane back then. Get a
then
good.
T20s.
South Africa can bring AB de Villiers.
And Paf.
West Indies can bring Chris.
Chris
But
Gayle.
people get the numbers of 2014, 16. That time you had MS also. Had MS also.
And he was at least a good finisher back then. So.
Chalo, on that note,
Movie?
thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully, we should be back in an hour or a couple of hours whenever the team is announced.
Absolutely.
Press the bell icon. That's when you know we are live with our discussion. Then we'll have more concrete things to discuss. Maybe a more heated debate. For the moment, bye-bye. Take care. Have a great weekend. From all of us here at Sports Today. Bye-bye. Take care. Vanakkam. Nandri.
Don't trouble your
Shabba
mother.
khair. Whatever. Bye.